DC Slate unveiled. New Batman, Supergirl movies, a Green Lantern TV show, and much more from James Gunn and Peter Safran. So let's do the Marvel thing, make as much as possible, and throw it at the consumers, and see if it sticks, because we're $56 billion in the hole.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Okay, so let's go over James Gunn's video and see what he has to offer.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation.
So we're going to do the Marvel thing. We're going to throw out as much content as possible.
That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity.
So far, so good. A continuity is good. It's always nice to see the same actor play the same character throughout all of whatever they're going to do with him. But I am still very wary.
Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now.
What he means is, sadly, these piles of slop are already filmed and the money's been spent, and we can't get rid of them. So we have to, unfortunately, release them, which nobody will watch because they feature Ezra Miller and Amber Heard. But hey, after that, it's my turn. It's my universe.
So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter.
Why does it have to be 10 years? Why can't you just make one movie and see how it goes? How about you start off with Superman, with Henry Cavill? I mean, why does everything have to be like a cinematic universe? I mean, you don't even know if any of this will even work. Why spend the money you don't have?
The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it.
Let's start off with characters nobody knows. And Viola Davis, the Woman King. The woman who said if you didn't go see her movie, you were a racist and a sexist. Written by the Watchmen. That show's terrible.
Okay. Next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025.
It'll be interesting to see who they cast for Superman, seeing as Henry Cavill's out. Because I honestly can't imagine really anybody else while playing the character. Is he going to be a little twink? A little wavy-haired twink?
Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective, with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU.
The Lanterns. Well, I guess we'll see. I mean, their track record of superhero television shows via the CW is not very good. I guess we'll just have to see what James Gunn comes up with. I can't say I ever imagined Green Lantern being a detective, though.
Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters. We are now bringing in into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes.
Some of the choices are kind of out of left field. I remember reading this comic. I think it came out in the early 2000s. Such an odd choice, though, to make a movie out of it.
We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island.
So instead of doing a Wonder Woman movie, we're going to do a Game of Thrones style TV show based off the birthplace of Wonder Woman. What can go wrong?
The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU.
That sounds awful. A babysitting Batman with an assassin son Robin. Of all the runs to pick, you chose that one. Let's continue.
Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series.
Another TV show, Booster Gold. His choices are so odd, and like I've said many times in this video, Warner does not have that much money, so they need some guaranteed big hitters. I just don't think any of these will be it. At least none of the TV shows.
One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character.
Well, if anything based off modern-day comics is an automatic fail, and a no thanks for me. That's why the comic industry is in the dumpster. That's why they have to combine their sales with manga to look like their industry is doing good when it's not.
And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories.
That could be interesting. That actually that could be something good. I guess we'll have to see. I do like Swamp Thing, and I would love to see an adaptation of it.
Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Well, he ended the video saying the right things about characters, about storytelling. I guess we'll just have to see. I'm very interested to see what the casting of Superman would be, as well as Batman and his little Robin. But the TV shows, I don't really have much of an interest, to be honest. It's too much like Marvel. And by the way, somebody made a graph, I'll put it up right now, of their slate. And this is the slate. Does it remind you of someone else's slates? I'm just saying. Very similar. Well, thanks for watching, and until next time.